What can I say? So guys, we're out with the red R34. Let's see what we've bought. We're gonna put it on the ramp today, have a look underneath, inspect it, see what it's about, see how the build is underneath. I haven't actually gone through the spec of the car properly. We'll do that over today's video. Also, we're gonna actually get it out on the road today, first time ever. I haven't driven this car. It's got a sequential gearbox, so it's gonna be very, very interesting because all you guys know is I love the H-pattern manual, but this is something that's a bit different. We're gonna give it a try. Also, keep an eye out because behind us, we've also got an E30 M3, a BMW M3, which is quite tasty. We're gonna take it out, have a little feature, and hopefully, if I'm lucky enough, the owner's gonna let me drive it. Right, first time, car's up on the ramp. Errol and we're gonna look underneath and see what's good and what's bad. And so far, looking at it from here, it looks very fresh indeed. If you look under here, the kind of typical places, seals are nice.
I've gone from like it looks like a 4.5 inch. I should.
Oh wow! Look at this exhaust. So
4 inch to.
That's not titanium, is it? Right at the front.
3 inch, 3 inches. Oh, that's mental.
3 inches going into a 4 inch, right?
It looks like a 4.5.
Yeah, it looks bigger than a 4 inch, and that's titanium.
Yeah, that's titanium.
Wow. Okay. Wow, look at these fuel lines.
No, I like the Japs do things in a different way.
You see, I like the way they've done the fuel lines. There's 3 pumps up here for the fuel. So you see, yeah, you see the 3 fuel pumps just there.
3 fuel pumps, Bosch 044s.
Yeah, yeah.
Old school stuff.
IKEA Formula 1 arms, which I got on my other one. As you can see, that exhaust is massive. Like that's a 4.5, we're guessing. Are you sure that's not a 5?
I don't know. You know what?
Could be a 5.
I'm gonna get my version.
Could be a 5. Could be a 4. And over here, like the pipe work, it's done properly. It's done properly. Fuel pumps there. Oh, here we go. We've got diffs up here. Trying to work out what diff this is. And here we go. We're going to measure the.
I got my verniers with me, but that is 4.5.
4.5 inch. Okay. So slightly bigger than the one I've got on the other one. Okay. Yeah. What are these prop shafts? Would you say they're stock?
Prop shafts stock.
They look pretty stock.
Yeah, they're stock.
And then over here we've got the gearbox.
Enjoy it, mate.
Yeah. So we've got the gearbox, which is obviously a sequential. I'm going to say that 3 times, sequential. Okay, so the worst thing we've found so far is if you come over here, and I'll show you the camera. So if you come up here, probably from here, and you'll see, so far, that's the only oil leak we've found. It looks more like residue leak, where it's been sat probably. But other than that, it's very dry under there.
But that's actually going into your fuel pump. So it's
not an oil leak. There's no sort of oil leaks or anything. That's not a billet case, is it?
No, no, it ain't a billet case. It's a cast.
Okay.
We've got to congratulate him on this. This is a build. These Jap guys, man.
What's this?
That's a wastegate.
Old
it's
school
an
one.
old school HKS wastegate. It looks like
I was going to
50
say.
mil.
Yeah, polished, old school.
Yeah.
Right. Look at these big clips on there. That's fucking good, aren't they?
Yeah, I ain't seen clamps like this.
And that weld almost looks like yours, doesn't it?
Yeah, beautiful welds as well. Can't knock it.
Suspension. So if, again, over there, got coilovers. Aragosta arms. Clean. So generally speaking, like, very clean under there. Very clean. Now we just got to work out what we're going to do with it, guys.
Race it, race it, race it.
Everyone wants me to race it. What do you guys think? Are we racing it? Putting it away as a showpiece? What most collectors do in a car like this? Obviously, again, a piece of history, piece of Japanese automotive history, record-breaking times. Do you think they could be replicated here in the UK, or could they be beaten? The setup on this car is just second to none, isn't it? Like, so how long would this take? This whole setup, if we were to start on this car from scratch and do it here in the UK, I know some of this is old school style, but the Japanese did it really good, right?
Yeah, no.
Really cool.
Well, look, just the stitch welding, the chassis is all stitch welded.
Yeah. The amount of hours. So.
Yeah, if you just think about just lines and rebuilding everything the way it is, just doing what they've done. It's like an intercooler.
Yeah.
The pipe work,
Yeah.
the exhaust work. Mate, some fool's gone into this.
Trust intercooler, massive. Just over there. That's massive, that trust intercooler. What have you found? Show us.
Yeah, I think they're cement filled.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think your block is cement filled, mate.
Okay.
This is a proper thing, mate. This is no joke. Yeah.
Well, there you are, guys. So nothing really a bad surprise underneath. We've had a look underneath and everything looks very clean, very good. The build is like at a very, very good level. It's a very good base. I mean, if you wanted to go very modern, but it's also a mix of old school technology in Japan, which is like second to none, but then it does have some new bits on there, modern stuff. But generally for the 2000s era, would you say like this is one of the top-notch builds?
This is a unique build, isn't it? This ain't a normal build. Like everyone has their own way of doing things.
Yeah.
The Japs do things in a different way.
Yeah.
And there ain't no wrong or right way.
Again,
Like,
just
you
look.
can't use the right
Again,
thing
just
or
look at that wastegate over here. Screamer pipe wastegate, right? And then just the way those exhausts are done. Nice.
There's a few things we're gonna have to change.
Yeah.
Just minor things, but just update a few things. It's not
And,
totally out of date.
And the fact that this was done back in probably 2000, the hoses and the pipe work.
I think it was done sooner.
Oh, do you think it was sooner? Do you think they refreshed it
Sorry,
sooner?
like later. Sorry.
Okay.
Like, I think it's like a probably done. I don't know. You guys will have to tell me, but maybe it's like probably about 10 years ago. So
Got you.
I reckon all the tech in it is like 10-year-old tech.
Okay.
Like it's got
So it's not bad at all then, is
Motec
it?
M800.
Yeah,
like
Motec.
using an F-Con or a Power
Yeah.
FC or nothing.
Yeah, yeah. Give them the mic.
The stuff that they got, like with the sensors and everything they've done.
Yeah.
It ain't that old, but it ain't new either. Like,
Okay.
nothing wrong. Just doesn't need changing. Just needs. It's got a PDM on there.
Yeah. I mean, I've had old school builds before, as you guys know, and bulletproof, you know.
PDM on there. So everything's just on a cam pad. Like, they weren't doing that years and years ago. Like, you know, that
Yeah.
so I wouldn't say it's from like the 90s era.
So we're gonna thoroughly check this out, and then maybe get it on the road. First instant, as you can probably tell, I'm talking very loud. And the reason that is because you can probably hear the straight cut gears on this Hollinger sequential gearbox. Now, this is the gearbox that a lot of you guys have been telling me to put in my R34, the two-tone colour. And I've been very back-footed, because I like to enjoy my R34 on the street as well as on the strip. Now, this is the first time I've really gone out in a sequential. I mean, normally I drive a manual H-Back. As you can imagine, this car has a full-on race feel, feels like a go-kart, very responsive. Now I'm on a very quiet road, so I did drive here in the traffic. And I'll be honest, I didn't really like the traffic, but I managed it. It was fine. It was drivable. But in a H pattern manual, I would much better prefer it. We still haven't gotten through the right map, we still haven't got the right fuel in it, so I'm taking it easy today, but this is the first time I've ever driven this car. You can hear that gearbox screaming. I can hear the two turbos, but I don't know if you guys will hear that over the gearbox or not. I'll tell you what, she wants to go. This car just wants to go. It wants more and more. So I can't actually wait to get it on an airfield strip, just to see what it could do, you know. And I've got no air conditioning in the car, as you can probably imagine. This door part looks very naked right now, because I took the black plastic off, and I've got a little trick up my sleeve for that. We're going to be replacing these panels just to make a bit better, so I make a little bit to my taste. I definitely can't put my mum in this car and go for a drive to the shops. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Turbo is just coming in there, spooling up. Yeah, she pulls. Definitely wants to pull. I have to say, it's a very quick gearbox. And as you can imagine, it's definitely got some go to it. Gears there, and the harness is holding me in. Again, I apologize the fact that it's very noisy in this car, so I don't know how you're going to hear me in this car, because it's very, very noisy. Also guys, keep watching because we will be taking this on a track soon. This accelerator is so sensitive. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that and you heard what I was hearing in this car and you got to experience my first drive in this hardcore race car. Keep an eye out for the next episode next week where I'll be taking another legendary car out for a drive and featuring it. Until then, thanks for watching.